All right, I'm here at Newport Richey Harley Davidson, and I'm about to take this 2022 Road Glide Special for a ride. And this is the perfect day to do that because it's about 35 degrees out. There's 40-mile-an-hour winds blowing, and I get so many people asking me if there's a big difference between the Road Glide fairing and the Batwing fairing. I've never felt much of a difference as far as wind protection or stability or anything else, but today is the perfect day to really test this because I'm telling you, here in Florida, the wind is blowing like crazy. So I'm going to take this motorcycle out. There are really no differences between the 2021 and 2022 models other than the new colors that are offered. This is one of those new colors. I believe this is Redline Red, and it is beautiful red. Looks like a Ferrari red to me, but I guess they couldn't use that name. So I'm gonna take this bike out. I'm gonna get up to highway speeds. I was coming down on my electric glide with the Batwing fairing, and I was getting feeling that wind blowing a bit. No big deal, but we'll see if this is any better. That should close this argument about the Batwing versus the Shark style frame mounted fairing once and for all. Probably not though. Well, okay, the first thing I noticed, ride height, my feet are completely flat-footed. As I said, I'm 5'7", though I identify as 6'2". No problem, I would think, even for a person 5'2" or 5'3" to flat foot this bike. By the way, if you notice the camera at an odd angle, that's because the camera's at an odd angle. There was an attachment I needed, and I did not bring it with me. Not even expecting to ride this 22. But this position is very upright. Handlebars come back plenty far. Very comfortable upright position. Adjust these mirrors. It used to be, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, the Road Glide models, I never liked them because the seat sat you too far back, at least for a person my size with my size arms, to really get some good leverage with the handlebars. But they changed that a few years ago, and now it's just as good riding position as the electric glide with the Batwing fairing. And as I've said many times, the new bikes with the cable clutch, I like them much better. It's just a better feel with the mechanical clutch as compared to the hydraulic clutches. Some people say the opposite. Plus you could adjust them to grab any place you want. And that makes it quite a bit easier to manipulate the clutch and throttle in the friction zone. All right, right now I'm riding into the wind. The wind is blowing, like I said, 30-40 mile an hour gusts. Is it any different than the electric glide fairing? Oh boy, it's really hard to tell. I really can't tell any difference. It's getting blown around a bit just like my electric glide was, with these winds blowing. Right now I'm heading east and they're blowing out of the north. Now, as far as the wind coming at me, I think there might be a little bit better protection coming towards my face. I'm wearing a full face helmet. But that really depends a lot on the windshield. Now, on my electric glide, I've got a 5-inch windshield, and I probably should have got a 6-inch windshield, but then it makes it a little harder for the camera. So I make do with the 5-inch. Now the dash is quite a bit further forward, of course, than the Batwing fairing. But I could see the display just fine. There's no problem there. It's just a different look and feel. To me, it tends to make it seem like the front end is much further out on this bike than it would be on an electric glide. It really isn't. It's just the position of the fairing. Both my electric glide police bike and this bike have the 114 motor. All the power you'll ever need. I mean, it's always nice to have more. And the 117 they're coming out with on the ST model will give you some more. These usually somewhere around 89-90 horsepower on the dyno. And from what I've heard, it's 107 horsepower with the ST models. But I don't know if that's 107 to the rear wheel or 107 horsepower just sitting on a stand. As far as handling, it's exactly the same. All the touring chassis are the same. This has the Special has the 1-inch shorter shocks in the back, so it won't give as plush a ride as an Ultra or my electric glide police bike. The new ST models are going to have optional Olin rear shocks, and they are 13-inch versus the 12-inch on here, so that's going to give you more ground clearance and a better lean angle, and it should give you a better ride as well. Not that there's any problem with the ride on this motorcycle. It's on the firm side, but now when you fill up the bags or you put a passenger on the back, you should adjust the preload on the shocks. If you don't, and you're on some bumpy roads, you may find yourself bottoming out, and your passenger, if it's your wife, she's probably going to complain about it. If it's your girlfriend, she won't say anything. Come on, guys, you know how it goes. Now we're heading into the wind. And again, I'm getting blown around a little bit, just like I was on the electric glide with the batwing fairing. Not a big deal. I mean, I'm under perfect control here. It's not like it's an 80-mile-an-hour wind blowing me sideways. I can just feel it. I've got to make slight corrections. Stay in my own lane. Of course, this 114 motor has got plenty of torque, even on an 850-pound motorcycle like this. And it's got plenty of lean angle for about 95% of the riders. They wouldn't notice the slightly less lean angle you have with the Special models. I notice it because I tend to really lean that bike a lot, especially when I'm doing low speed turns. The further you lean the motorcycle, the tighter the turn you're going to make. I like the bright paint color on the dashboard. I'm not sure. I think the Road Glide standard is a matte finish, matte plastic finish versus the gloss, but I'm not positive about that. This bike has the RDRS system. That's traction control, cornering ABS, hill hold. It also shows you what your tire pressure is. It's about as high-tech as you can get on a Harley Davidson, as well as should be for about 30 grand that you're gonna have to pay for a bike like this. And I know people say $30,000 for a motorcycle. Well, you don't have to pay $30,000. You could buy a used one, or you could buy a Honda Grom. I think they're like $3,900. But if you want a Harley Davidson, it's always been expensive motorcycles as far as motorcycles go. But their prices are right in line with other heavyweight touring motorcycles like the Gold Wing, BMW, Indian motorcycles. It just depends what you like. I like Harleys because, well, they fit my needs. 95% of the people that come to my class are on Harley Davidson, and they like to see the exercises demonstrated on a Harley Davidson. And I like the way they ride, and I especially love the looks of a Harley Davidson classic American style motorcycle. I hope you enjoyed this short little ride, and I hope you subscribe to the channel. I did a video recently about the prices of Harley Davidson motorcycles and how you're actually paying less than you were 20 years ago when you consider inflation and how much the bikes cost 20 years ago. And there's no question you're getting a much better motorcycle today, much more fully equipped, much more powerful, better handling, better in every way than they were 20 years ago.